This is section 8.2, payroll deductions for employees. And so we're going to be talking about some different things. I had erased that at some point. We're going to consider FICA withholding, and FICA consists of Social Security and Medicare. And that part 3 that I had marked out, that is for an additional Medicare tax. And we're just going to kind of ignore that for this class. It only happens once you have wages over $200,000. So I figured that doesn't happen that often for most people. So you can see on here the amounts, the percentages that are going to be withheld for both Social Security and Medicare. And we'll talk about more of that as we go. In the first part of this, we're going to talk about the Medicare tax. So we take a 1.45% deduction for Medicare. Everybody has to pay this, and that's on our gross pay. So we don't have a limit. We just continue to pay that. And once again, like I said, it shows the additional, but we're going to ignore that for this class. Then we're going to look at Social Security. So Social Security is 6.2% of your income, and that's of your wages, your gross pay, until your year-to-date reaches $128,400. Now, year-to-date just means, I'm going to say this, year-to-date is how much money you have earned so far. So this amount is going to increase each time you get paid. And so if it says year to date, that's what it's talking about. So in January, your year to date will be way lower than it might be, say, in May or June or in November. It grows throughout the year. So just think, year to date means how much money I've made total so far in the year that you're talking about. We're going to talk about 3 different cases because this is kind of what this boils down to when we're looking at Social Security and Medicare. Now remember, no limit on Medicare. Is our year-to-date above this cutoff of 128,400? Is it below by quite a bit, you know, even with the paycheck if I add that on? Or are we getting close to the cutoff? And that actually turns out to be the trickiest time on how do we figure it when we're getting close. All right, so we're going to look at this first scenario. Your year-to-date is already above $128,400. So if you look at the example, Sue earned $3,200 in gross wages for the month. Her year-to-date gross wages before this check were $156,345. How much will we be withheld for Social Security and Medicare? So here's the thing that happens. If her income is already past above the $128,400, then Sue does not have to pay Social Security. So she's going to pay 0 this time because she has already gone past that $128,400 with her year-to-date earnings. For Medicare, there's no limit, right? So we just keep paying regardless of how much we've made. So we're going to pay on the full amount, $3,200. We're going to multiply by, right, the 1.45% in decimal form. So that's 0.0145. And it turns out that Medicare for this paycheck will be $46.40. Now, if we were talking about FICA, that would be the total of the two. So FICA for this check would just be the $46.40, right? Because If we add 0, we're still at $46.40. Okay. This is the next one. So this time, if we add Sue's paycheck to her year-to-date earnings of $65,500, we are still well below $128,400. We don't even have to add those to know that we will be below. So this means that she has to pay Social Security on the full amount, and Social Security is 6.2%, so in decimal form that's 0.062. Let me just try to write that again. 0.062. And so the amount of Social Security, you will just calculate this, right? Key it into your calculator. She's going to pay $198.40. And we actually already figured Medicare on the previous slide because she's still paying the same amount. Her paycheck is $3,000. Her gross pay is $3,200. That's not really what her paycheck will say. And we're multiplying. So Medicare is the same as the previous example, $46.40. If we're figuring FICA, oops, I meant to change colors there. Then we would add the two together, right? $198.40 and $46.40. And our total FICA then is $244.80. That doesn't look much like a 9. Maybe. Okay. So that's the total for that one, for her Social Security and Medicare. Now the third scenario is where it gets a little trickier. Her year-to-date, her year-to-date at this point, gross wages will be $126,700. So you see that's getting close to the $128,400. So what we have to do is see how much of her paycheck will she owe Social Security for, and we're going to find that by taking the cutoff point of $128,400, subtract $126,700, and you guys, this is the easiest way to get there. Just do the subtraction. So when you subtract, you find that she has $1,700 more to reach the cutoff, which means she does not have to pay Social Security on her full check for this particular check. So she's going to take the $1,700 and pay on just that amount because the rest of it is over $128,400. So we multiply by the 6.2% in decimal form. So Social Security for this check will be $105.40. Medicare is the same as the previous two examples, so $46.40. And then FICA will be the combination of the two when we add them. And FICA is $151.80. And I had planned to change that color there. So Social Security, Medicare, FICA is what we get when we add the Social Security and the Medicare. So we're going to end this video on this slide because on the next slide we're going to be calculating federal income tax withholding. So that's where I'll start the second video.